I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, but before I get started, can everybody hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. I met David through a gentleman named Mike Antanis, who I met at the New England Camera Club Council. I'd like to thank David, who's leaving, but he's a wonderful man and brought me in a month ago, or 2 months ago. I was really nervous last time. Not so nervous this time. So I'm thankful to be here. I'm thanking all of you for coming. And I'd also like to thank Bernadette. Stand up, hon. This is Bernadette. She will be our model for today. She graciously came down with me, and we will be shooting. This is a live action presentation workshop. And let's get started. I have a short slideshow. Then we're going to do a quick chat, and then we're going to start shooting. I will cover equipment. I will cover triggering systems. We'll talk a little bit about the Pocket Wizard Flex system. Okay, if anybody has that. I currently use it, but don't have it with me. Tonight I'm running a workshop, so tonight I brought my Pocket Wizard Plus 2s. And then we will shoot. I will show you one speed light 6 different ways. Okay, this is a great program. It's a lot of fun. I'd ask you to hold all of your questions till the end. I will leave ample time at the end to answer any of your questions. So write down whatever you got going and hit me hard because I'm here for you. Okay, I picked up off-camera flash 6 years ago when I noticed my business started to falter a little bit. Natural light just wasn't doing it for me. Competition was stiff, and I took my flash off the camera, and it has been amazing. I have a very short slideshow, about 20 photographs. We'll run through them. I'll explain all of them, tell you the equipment that I'm using for each of the photos, okay? And this is not rocket science. This is work anybody here can do. It's really great. It's fun. The hardest part's finding someone like Bernadette, who graciously gave up her day to come down with me. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so thank you. Welcome to B&H Event Space, and thank you very much for coming. It's one speed light 6 ways. Name of my company is Robert Harrington Studios. That's my website, robertharringtonstudios.com. I currently run off-camera flash workshops in the online forum. Where's Bobby? Raise your hand. I have an online forum person here. And from rocktheshot.com. If you are just getting started, this is a wonderful website geared to the beginner in the entry level to becoming professional. There's a lot of great information on how to run a business, accounting, processing, textures, layer, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a great resource, rocktheshot.com. I'm currently sponsored by Expo Imaging. Who knows the Expo disc? Rogue Flash Benders, okay? And Mac Group US. Mac Group is the distributor of Pocket Wizard, Sekonic, light meters, Profoto lighting. They're the US distributor for those products. I have like a semi-sponsorship thing happening with them. It's growing. It's been really wonderful this year. Okay, off-camera flash. I shot this in Central Park with one speed light. I turned one speed light into 2 light sources. Okay, so we're in the shade right now. There's an SB900 behind her. See the hair light? The light's behind her, shooting across the top of her head, hitting a reflector and coming back, giving me a main light. So one speed light gave me 2 light sources. Very similar to the sun, bouncing your reflector from the sun, right? I'm a big headshot guy. Took this the same day with the Creative Light softbox. I love headshots. That's the core of my business for my portrait work is the headshot. And I absolutely, and I love headshots. Because you can tell so much about a person by just that little bit of space, right? Okay, I shot this 2 weeks ago. I ran an off-camera flash event very similar to this, an all-day event at E.P. Levine up in Massachusetts. I shot this into V-flats or bookends. Anybody hear of them? Okay, very good. Excellent, excellent. V-flats or bookends is when you take a piece of foam core board, 4 foot by 8 foot, and you seam them with tape, and you fold it like this, just like a book. Bookend, okay, or V-flat. Well, I folded it into a V. I put my 2 speed lights shooting into the V, and then that light came out around behind me and lit her. And I have this beautiful soft flat light. Just an amazing bounce kind of light. This is the same gal, same workshop. Here, Westcott is just coming out with they call it the 43-inch orb Anybody hear of that or see that? I had a pre-production unit to shoot with. It actually arrived at EP Levine while I was there working. And this was one of the last 2 or 3 shots that I got. We set up the orb, put it on a light stand, SB900, and that's it, 1 light source, 1 shot. We're down on 43rd Street, and there was this beautiful blue wall, doing construction behind it. And I fell in love with that color because, you know, blue is my favorite color. Eyes, shirt, pants. And I put her up against the wall, and I had one of the workshop attendees hold up my speed light like this, SB900, had the cover on it, the Omnibounce, and just shot direct, and that was it. That's another shot pretty much out of my camera, right? And we're doing all this work with stuff like this, and people are walking around the streets holding this up, right? 1 speed light. Okay, this is, you know, high fashion. We're into simple fashion here. 1 speed light, 1 shoot-through umbrella, done, okay? Studio gray is one of my favorite colors to shoot against. She's up against a studio gray backdrop, and that's it. And I really love that photo. I think that's really a nice way to show you how you can do so much with so little. You know, use what you're given and add just a touch to it. Okay, it's not all fun and games and models and workshops. There is work involved. This gentleman owns a company in the town where I live, and he needed a headshot. And of all the photographers who ever took a headshot of him, this is his absolute favorite headshot. And I'm happy because it's plastered all over all over the trucks that they own. It's like it'd be 100 of them. That mug right there is on the side of it, and that's my work. And I get work from that shot. And this is 1 single speed light. And what I did was I put him in front of a garage door. So I put white seamless paper behind him. The garage door is open, so I have some edge light on his left shoulder, and I lit him from the opposite side. 1 speed light, open the garage door for some natural light, and I was done. Now we're getting a little more complicated. This is the 3 speed light executive portrait. I do a ton of work for this law firm in Connecticut, and I did all their headshots over, and they wanted high key. So I took 2 SB800s and lit a white seamless paper. Here I used a Creative Light softbox as a main light with a reflector, and that was it. 3 lights. This is a 3-light portrait. If you're using the Pocket Wizard Flex system, that's when this comes in handy because you can control all the output of your flashes in one spot. This is a few months ago, so at the time I didn't have it yet. Another man from the same firm, same deal. He needs a little processing on his cheeks and forehead, it looks like. I don't think this one got submitted. But same thing, 3 speed lights. And I did, one day we shot 30 people, and the next time we shot how many? No.
The first time I was with you?
Yeah.
I want to say like
16. Bernadette styled for me for an entire day, and we did 16 people. Ran them right through, and it was great.
How do you control the shadows, especially with the 1 speed light with the first guy?
What do you mean?
I see no shadows at all. How do you?
You bring that softbox instead of here, bring it a little more forward, and that's and put a reflector.
With the 1 speed light with the guy that's on the truck?
I'm sorry?
With the 1 speed light shot with the guy that's on the truck that you did? There's no shadows at all there?
No. Okay, hold on. All right, so the question is, how do I control shadows with small flashes? Okay, you're not limited. I want everybody to, like, okay, think about being in a yoga class. Who takes yoga? Okay, because I don't. But I know from taking, you watch people who take yoga, my wife takes yoga, and you're like, right? That's what you want to do. Forget everything you know. Forget everything you know. And take that flash, instead of going to the traditional 45 by 45, move it a little forward. See that? Move your flash around. You can get great and varied results just by taking this flash and putting it to one side and lighting only one side of the face and getting dark shadows on the other. I control my light with the reflector and just by doing that, okay? So now that we're all relaxed, right? We're all good? Okay. Again, the corporate headshot. She just happens to be, you know, drop dead gorgeous, but it is paying work and it is what pays the bills. I love the corporate headshot. It's one of my mainstays of my portrait work. And I just think you can tell so much about a person when you have that one shot. That's all you need to see, right? Okay, have your photos tell a story. All right, so I want someone in the room to give me what they think of this photo. What story does this tell you? Anybody? No, story. What's the story?
Love.
Okay, good. No, here's Ann. Life. Excellent. Who said? Who else said? What else? Lamaze. All right, very good. All right. Okay, so have your photo tell a story. When I first started out, it's one of the first things that I read. I read a book from a photojournalist about a photojournalist, and the photojournalist said, have your photos tell a story, right? Executive headshot is great, but this doesn't show anybody's head or face, and it tells you a story. To me, this says, Mom still loves Dad even though he did this to her. Okay, the 40s glamour portrait, 30s, 40s, and 50s glamour shot. Who knows the name George Hurrell? Raise your hand if you know the name George Hurrell. Anybody? Okay, you're all going to Google that name, because George Hurrell was the top guy in Hollywood in the 30s, 40s, and 50s for this kind of shot. Veronica Lake, Lauren Bacall, Joan Crawford, okay? He shot with a large format camera, all under hot light.
Would you spell Hurrell, please?
Hurrell. We shot this with 3 speed lights, okay? And what we did was, speed light 1 is the main light on her face, and I used a snoot. And that first speed light has a snoot on it. So you have that very hard looking loop light on on her side of her nose, which is very indicative of hard light, the hot light. That's a hot light look with a speed light. Second speed light gives me a hair light and actually touches some of this blanket here, that furry thing. And third light has a grid on it. And that grid is hitting the background and giving me that kind of sprayed gobo look. Yes?
Could you explain the position of the lights?
Yes, I will in just 1 second. The question is, can I explain the position of the lights? And that's the next photo. All right? So we have this really cool look. Yes?
I'm sorry, you said speed light with something that creates the hard look?
Snoot. A snoot.
Snoot.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
I'll show you.
Okay.
Next photo explains everything. This is one of my favorite looks. I love this kind of look. Bernadette sat for me one night, and we got a great look for her on this hard light. And here's my setup. Okay, you can see it better probably on the TV screens. All right. If you look to the very right-hand side of the photo, is an SB900 with a snoot on it. And a snoot is just a round tube that you put over the head.
Oh.
And that's it. Okay, and then it directs the light it's very hard and direct. Okay. Second light is behind her up in the upper left corner by the exit sign. That also has a snoot. Can you see it up there? It's a round circular tube. Okay. I'm using Rogue flash benders here, rolled up into the snoot form. The last shot is a grid through a seamstress thing. I don't know what they call them. Mannequin, seamstress mannequin. And this is my studio. It's very small, very intimate. I co-lease it with another photographer, and she owns that, so I borrowed it. And that gives me that spray of that whatever on the background. When you look at the 40s, 30s, 40s, and 50s style high contrast black and whites, you'll see a lot of that. You see a lot of like the window frames on the back of just a plain wall, or just to give some detail, separation, and put something on that wall. And this was a great sitting. I actually got some great shots. It was a lot of fun. I did it with 3 speed lights. Okay. The male headshot. Again, I love the headshot. This is a this is a Westcott 28 Apollo, and it's just off to his right, almost this way, just hitting him just enough to give me a little touch, a kiss of light on his left cheek. Right? Very dramatic headshot. Really nice portrait. Very simple lighting, all one light. Bernadette again. We'll be doing this technique today that we'll just be bouncing our flash off the ceiling. If you guys are just starting out, who's a beginner here? Give me a show of hands. Come on, up, 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 there we go. Okay, if you're just starting out and you don't know what to buy, don't know what to do, okay, I'll give you a hand, I'll tell you what I'm using, but also you can take your flash and just bounce it off the ceiling. And that's what I did here, and look at that shot. So all I did was just bounce it to the corner of the ceiling. Most important part of the entire process, have fun. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself. Relax. Don't get caught up in the technical, okay? Let things flow. I know people who get hung up in the technical part. All right, when I get into a room and I'm speaking and people start asking questions, I can divide the room in half. Women want to know how to shoot. Men want to talk about equipment. All right, forget the equipment. Just give it a try. You've got a digital camera. You have something film guys never had, the ability to see what you're getting. You can read a histogram, delete that photo, and increase your aperture, shutter speed, or ISO. You can do everything right here, right? And even now, even better, I'm going to shoot into my laptop. I can really see what I'm getting as an end result. So enjoy yourself, have fun. It's a learning process. It's a whole. I treat it as like a lifelong kind of process. I'm continually learning about light, always trying to put light somewhere where I never thought that I would before, and read magazines. The joke in my house is my wife gets Golf Digest, I get Vanity Fair, okay? But you open Vanity Fair, and there's a photo of Scarlett Johansson this month, and I'm like, wow, she's gorgeous. How they light her? Where's that light coming from? Take apart, do this. Do this as an exercise. I think I told this to you guys, Bobby, in the forum. Find a photo that you like. Get a magazine, just open it, close your eyes, open a page, go, that photo. Okay, how'd they do it? How'd they do it? How is that lit? And then you go and do it. Because most of these guys are using one light in a beauty dish, pretty much, right? So put your speed light outside the window and blast it into the house. Put your speed light off into a corner and just fill the room with some light. Try and deconstruct the photo, see how it's being done, and then you go do it. And then once you do it, you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. I can do any of this that any of these guys can do. Because it's empowering. And I know I sound like Tony Robbins at the moment, but it is empowering. Because once you see that you can do it, your world changes. You're no longer apprehensive about taking your flash off your camera. You're no longer apprehensive about sticking it into a corner of a room or buying a new modifier. Well, buying a new modifier could be a different story when your wife sees the bill come through the door. But anyways, it opens up your world and makes you look at the world differently, especially with light. And become a student of light. I am a student of light. I look for light everywhere. One of my students asked me, how do you do this? And I said, just look for the light. You walk into a room, where's your light? Oh, it's behind me. It's coming off that screen. It's right there in the ceiling. It's over there. The light in here is awful, but you know what? I know where the light is, and if I want to take a portrait of, what's your name?
Felix.
Felix?
Yeah.
I know I got some top light right here. I'm good with him. See that? Look for light all the time. It becomes an obsession, actually. Thankfully, it's only light that I'm obsessed with. Okay. All right, so we're gonna shoot right now, and all right, we're good on time. So Bernadette came in. We're gonna talk about equipment as we go. So currently, my rig is this. I'm using Manfrotto 1052 BAC light stands. These are called quick stackers, and the great thing about these light stands is when you release them on the bottom, they fold flat. And then you can stack 3 or 4 right up. And if you have 3, you buy the 3-pack, you can stack 3 of these where you would normally put 1 light stand. And it's great for travel, and they're perfect for speed lighting.
What's the model number again?
1052 BAC.
What do they run about?
I think it's about $70. Oh, I have to go back. The second thing I'm using is this is a Lumo Pro LP633. I don't know if B&H has this. This is the umbrella bracket. All right, we'll be shooting only umbrellas today. This umbrella bracket's made out of metal. It's very durable. And the nice thing is, on the bottom, is an indent. And when you put your speed light on it, I know you can't see it, but you can come take a look at the end. When you put your speed light on this, none of the contacts touch the metal. If the contacts touch on a lower end or cheaper unit, you run the risk of having the flash fire by itself or burn the flash out. I've had that happen. Didn't burn a flash out, thankfully, but when the flash goes on, it starts to trigger by itself. You're like, what's going on here? If you catch it in time, you're good. If you don't, you could be buying a new one of these. Okay.
Can you repeat the bracket?
Yep. The question is, can I repeat the bracket? And yes, it's a LumoPro LP633. SB900 is my main flash for now. I'm sorry, is someone not hear the?
Yeah, would you repeat again?
LumoPro LP633. I'm using a SB900 as the main light. For you Nikon shooters, you are lucky you get one of these in the package when you buy a Nikon flash. For you Canon guys, I'm sorry. For you Pentax guys, I don't know. Sony guys, can't help you. Who else is out there these days? Olympus. Again, I don't know what they come with. Does it? All right, you guys are good. If you don't have one, get one, because they work really well for speed lighting. If you don't have one and you want to get started, take the bezel, take this little thing out for the wide angle lenses, and push that forward. That will do almost the same thing. This turns, what this does is if you're using a wide angle lens, you drop this down, and this takes a spread of light and helps it go right to left to cover the wide angle range. This almost does what this does.
What's that called, the cover? 'Cause I think I want it.
This is this cover is called an OmniBounce.
Oh, no.
All right, that's the name of the main supplier. Stofen OmniBounce. That's like the generic name for all of them, I think now. No matter who makes it, everybody asks for an OmniBounce. Okay. And that's it. Today we'll be using the old Pocket Wizard Plus 2s. I'm currently using the Pocket Wizard Flex. I'm running a workshop tonight after this. If anybody's interested, it was posted. You can come see me after. We will be in Times Square shooting gelled flashes. One light gelled to Times Square light. The photos are fantastic. It's a lot of fun. So if you want to come to it, you're more than welcome. I have plenty of slots available. Just let me know. And then I've got this, the Nikon SD9. This is their battery pack. All right. If you're going to be doing a lot of speed light work, buy yourself a good flash that will take a battery pack. It will save your flash. What happens is the battery pack operates the head, and the batteries in the body operate the mechanicals of the body. All right. So when you're working manual or TTL, the 4 batteries in here operate this, and the 8 batteries in here operate the head. So you keep the head cooler, okay, under heavy shooting conditions, and your batteries last longer. I ran an event yesterday where my co-sponsor for the event was shooting studio strobe light. And his thing was, you can shoot studio strobe all day. And I said, well, so can I. With a setup like this, I get 1,000 flashes easy. That's 1,000 flashes. You hear me? How many? It's 1,000 flashes, all right? It's 2 or 3 workshops. That's a full day of a wedding. That's a bunch of portraits. It's a great deal, okay?
What's your recycling time?
Hang on, I'll show you. Recycle time. What is the recycle time? I don't know if you can all see the red button there. I'm going to flash it. Nearly instant.
Were you using lithium batteries in there?
The question is what batteries I'm using. I will pass my batteries around. You can all take a look at them. I'm using Ansman 2850 milliamp batteries. I don't know if they have them here. They have Sanyo Eneloops here, which are just as good. Okay. These are outstanding batteries. Buy yourself a good charger, okay, and then you will get a long life out of these batteries, because they're much better than the Energizers, Duracells, whatever else is out there commercially.
Say it again.
Ansman, I'm going to pass it around. Okay.
They're rechargeable?
Yes, they're rechargeable. Absolutely. So I'm looking at, I ran a whole workshop yesterday, and I should be able to work all day today with this one charge setup. Okay? All right, we'll go to the reflector, and we'll start to shoot. Is there a question? Yes.
You recommend using a native battery flash, like a Canon with a Canon, Nikon with a Nikon?
Yes. The question is, do I recommend using a native flash or a branded flash with your camera? This is what I recommend. Who's an event shooter? Okay, if you're event shooters, all your flashes should be branded, because if one goes down, that Nissan flash or that Vivitar is not going to be the same as that Canon 580, right? Your TTL output's probably not going to be the same. If you're using them for secondary flashes, buy a Nissan or a Vivitar or Sunpack or whatever. I always try to recommend you buy at least one flash that mates to your camera properly. Canon 580 to a Canon 5D Mark II. Nikon SB 800, 700 to Nikon. Right down to Sony, Pentax, same thing, because they're designed for one another. Once you get off the camera, not so much. But I'll tell you, I shot a wedding, and that gentleman sitting right there, I don't know your name.
Ed.
Ed?
Ed.
Okay, where he is the bride and groom. And where I am is right here. And I take a test shot, and guess what? Nothing works. Uh-oh. And they're coming in. I mean, they're coming in now, right now. So I take my SB 800, this was about 2 or 3 years ago, off, throw it in my camera, like literally like, throw my stuff down, get my new SB 800, which has charged batteries in it, put it on, and the second I'm ready, they start coming in. If I had a Nissan or a Vivitar, I don't know if I would have that same confidence. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, we're going to be shooting also with a reflector today. All the work will be done, or most of the work will be done with one speed light, umbrella, and a reflector, okay? I'm a huge fan of the California Sunbounce system. This is a bit pricey. I will not pull any punches there, but it's a great system. It comes apart easily, rolls up, and goes into my camera bag, or one of my lighting bags. What I like about it is that it's silver and white. You can assemble it and then put it onto a light stand.
What's your definition of pricey?
I think it's $180, something like that, $180 for this thing. This is the grip head. If any of you know grip equipment, this is the grip head that they use. Unfortunately, they make it so you have to buy theirs because I think the tubing is a specific size for their head. So I went ahead and purchased it. And you put it on just like you would any normal piece of grip equipment. And the really great thing about it is if I loosen here, loosen both sides, look at that. I can move it anywhere I want. Okay? Beauty light over and under, portrait light, simple reflector, anything I want. I can move it and then just tighten this down. I'm ready to go. I'm currently assistantless, so this is great for me.
How high is that go?
This is an 8-foot stand, so it'll go 8 feet. Yes?
Ever use the flash and bounce it directly into that thing? There's some special crap you can put on the California Sunbounce that you don't have the flash, have it bounce into the screen, bounce back.
Yep, I have. Okay, so the question is if I ever used bounce flash into this. California Sunbounce makes a bracket that you mount to the tube here. It comes out and you can put a flash on it. Okay, yes I have. Don't buy the bracket. It's not worth the money. If anybody's interested in doing that, email me. I will tell you how to do it more successfully. For probably about the same price, but their bracket is very flimsy when you expand it. I actually took a piece of 12-inch aluminum rod. Had a friend of mine owns a machine shop, put threads on either end. I built my own, and then I used one of these grip heads. And I put the grip head on my light stand, and I'm able to maneuver this with the flash on it. It's a lot stronger. It's a lot better. Okay, so if you got my card, email me. I'll help you out. What's that?
Carpenter's clamp and drill the 40 thread to the handle of the carpenter's clamp. The clamps on there and holds the flash perfect because they can move it up or down.
So you use carpenter, see like a Jorgensen?
That or those big alligator joint type.
Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. We got a Strobus with us. Outstanding. Uses carpenter clamps. If you can have the ability to modify something and use it on your own, go for it. Absolutely go for it. All right, but
What's the size of that reflector?
the size of this reflector is the 20 by 30. It's the California Sunbounce Micro Mini. Again, this is photography. We all know we're in the right place to buy something, but you always have to seem to buy something. They never make it easy. Okay, so we're going to do a portrait right now. You ready?
Sure.
Oh, thank God. Okay, how about I'll have you stand. We're going to do one light with a reflective umbrella. And we're going to move quickly to one light with a shoot-through umbrella. I prefer the shoot-through as opposed to the reflective, but if you're just starting out, go the way that was meant to be used, okay? This is my best Gene Kelly. All right. Okay. I think that the reflective style is a touch too contrasty for my particular taste. But you unscrew the bolt here, you put the umbrella in, I leave the cap on. Come to me, hon, because I'm stuck to this, I'm tied to the laptop. Here, I'm gonna put this right, whoopsie daisy. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so we'll do a one light with reflector portrait. Ready? I'm gonna flash you guys too, so be careful. Just don't be.
My glasses on.
Yeah, you better. Okay, this is a tight room. Holy cannoli, this is really a tight room. So, all right. First thing we're gonna look at is position. Roughly 45 degrees from our model and 45 degrees off axis of her. So literally 45 degrees this way and 45 degrees down. I'm kind of tight here on space, so it's an average. You can stay right there, hon. All right, when you're first starting out, a lot of photographers are going to stick their reflector up, and they're going to put it like this, right? A lot of you guys, who does this? Anybody? No? Good, because you're going to stop doing it right now. You're going to loosen this, and you're going to come up on an angle. So you're going to almost cross-light her perfectly 45 the opposite way. And this brings the shadows up under her chin on her right side, okay? We're going to talk about broad light and short light. Broad light is when you light to the person's part. Come to me, hon, and turn around so I can show. Her part on her hair is over her left eye. So if I broad light her, I'm going to not get any shadows under here. I'm going to have a nice, beautiful flow of light this way. If I short light her, she's going to have shadows underneath that part, okay? Which gives me more shadow detail on that side of the face. It's a personal preference. There is no wrong way or right way. We go back to that Zen moment in the yoga studio. There's no wrong way or right way. We're going to do it the way we want to do it. And if the client likes it, great. If the client doesn't like it, we swap the light around. Go ahead, hon. Ready? Okay. So I haven't taken a test shot yet, so hopefully my software is not asleep. Okay, I'm shooting into software called Capture One. I do not use Lightroom. Please do not ask me about Lightroom because I don't use it. I don't know anything about it, literally. Okay, for our settings, we're going to start at 1/125th of a second. Aperture 5.6, ISO 200, and white balance daylight. If you are not taking a custom white balance, if you are not comfortable with white balance yet, start with daylight setting. All right, you will get very, very, very close with that setting. I shoot on daylight all the time and adjust or don't adjust per taste. I like a very neutral tone to my photos, so I may adjust it down 200 degrees or so, right? Right, glad you agree. Okay, you ready? Let's see if this all works. Oh, I better turn this on. Okay, this is our initial shot. We don't like it. It's too hot, isn't it? Way too hot. Okay, it's way overexposed, all right? But we have the benefit of a laptop or the back of your camera. So I'm going to increase my aperture, maybe one full stop. We'll go to f8, all right? As you become more and more comfortable with the system, as you start using it more and more, you're going to know right away where you're going to start, where you will wind up. Yes?
Power on the flash.
Oh, I'm sorry. My main light, my flash power is always set to 1/2. Manual mode, 1/2. Every photo that I showed you in the slideshow, manual power, 1/2. That's always the main light. There's a couple reasons for that. One, excellent recycle time. If I'm on full power, 1/1, the recycle time is going to lag. Now I have great recycle time. If I'm running a workshop with 10, 20 people, you can shoot right along, not a problem. Okay, so 1/2 power. Again, as you start to get more involved in the entire system, you can drop the power, you can raise the power, you can play with it, play with your exposure. If you increase your ISO, you can be at f11, f16. I ganged up 3 speed lights on a bar and got f16 at 1/125th of a second out of 3 speed lights at 1/2 power. So you can approach strobe light power. It's not for running and gunning, but you can do it.
Your next job is going to be F8?
I'm going to shoot the f8 right now, yeah? Yes?
When you use the newer ones, you use the manual also?
No, who's using Pocket Wizard Flex? Okay, you Pocket Wizard Flex guys, we're going to talk as we go along. If you're using Pocket Wizard Flex, your flash remains on TTL, and then you make your changes here. Okay, ready on?
Question.
Yep.
TTL now, why are you on manual?
Because I'm using the old style Pocket Wizards where it's just a radio trigger. Oh, I'm sorry. The question is, why am I not using TTL? I'm not using TTL because I'm on the old style Pocket Wizard. And the old style +2 is just a radio trigger. And I liken it to a walkie-talkie. You're on one end, right? You're the camera. I'm the flash. I'm on the other. That's all we do is talk to one another. The Pocket Wizard Flex system does the same thing, but you have control at your end. So I have no control. I have to control exposure or flash setting myself now. Ready on? Come on, wake up. There we go. Okay. Still a little hot for me, but much, much better. All right.
Shutter speed?
1/125th, haven't changed shutter, just changed aperture to f8. So it's much, much better. All right. Now we're at f8. We're in the realm of strobe lighting. If you've got an Alien B on low power and you're shooting at f8, it's the same thing. Okay. I shoot pro photo, and honestly, they sit in my studio and gather dust. I have the older style compacts. I love the light. They're beautiful, and it's really a great showpiece. They're really pretty to show people. Here, I actually use pro photo, but you know, we're going to use this instead.
Why you don't use 250 in all your shots with the flash?
What, oh, so the question is, why is my shutter speed not 250 in all my shots? Okay. Let me repeat that for you. The question is, why am I not setting my shutter speed to 1/250th of a second? Okay. Who here shoots a Canon 5D Mark II? Raise your hand. All right, you guys are mine. Yeah, because you don't go to 250. The Mark IIs go to 200.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys and your experience, but my experience with my 5D Mark II people when they come to my workshops is they can't go beyond 1/160 without getting a black line. So I need to start at a shutter speed for everybody involved. So if you have a camera that has a max sync speed of 1/125, you can work. I had someone come in with a film camera, a Canon Elan 7. Who used to shoot an Elan 7? Who? Anybody shoot a Canon Elan 7? Yeah, 1/125th of a second is your maximum synchronization speed. So if I stay at that mark, everybody can work with no trouble at all. And you adjust aperture. I may at this point, because we're so close, we're going to stop this down maybe to, we'll try f11. Ready? Oh, that's even better.
That's even better. Yeah.
Okay? And we're at f11. Yes?
If you want to keep the same depth of field, though, I mean, I'm shooting on a 7D.
Uh-huh.
Would you then raise your shutter speed if you want to keep the aperture like a little?
You can. You have to understand that triangle: aperture, ISO, shutter speed. But that triangle now becomes a square: aperture, shutter speed, ISO, flash output. I can drop this down to 8th power at this point, and I can go back. I can go back to f5.6 and work at 8th power instead of a half power. Yes.
So, would you ever take this like outside, or would you think you'd throw off if you were outside?
Oh, absolutely. Always take it outside. The only thing is you need someone to hold on to, because this is like a sailboat sail, and it will go over. Yes?
Actually, it stays triangle because shutter speed is knocked out.
Right, shutter speed is knocked out, but you can adjust this. You can also adjust power setting
So it becomes flash power, aperture, and ISO.
and shutter speed, because you can knock your shutter speed back down still to the 60th and control ambient light.
Ambient light, but we're
Right.
doing flash photography though.
Right, but you still control ambient light with shutter speed.
Correct. But
So
at
you
the
still-
first of the second, we're not getting any ambient light.
Not right now, no, not right now. But you do have to, now you have that control goes from 3 to 4, because you still have that opportunity to change shutter speed for your setting. And this is even more true, sorry?
Because he was just asking if you can make the shutter speed faster in order to keep a smaller depth of field. So that would work because making a faster shutter speed would not cut down flash power or anything else. So
No, but you can add shutter speed and decrease aperture. You can still add shutter speed and decrease aperture.
making shutter speed faster would not make it less bright though, I'm saying.
No.
Right, so
No, you're right. Yeah, making that shutter speed faster will not make it less bright. That is correct. But you still have those 4 controls instead of 3.
if you're choosing to use ambient.
Right. Okay.
I have two questions. Number one, do you meter the light?
Uh,
Do you use the light?
do I use a light meter? Yes, I do, but not today.
Okay. So
Okay.
Number two, sometimes you cannot control the distance. How do you set the flash? It's 50% or 20%. It's not. You have to set it to reach the object.
Right. Yeah, so the question is 2 questions. One, do I use a light meter? Answer, yes, but not today. Because who here owns a light meter besides me? Okay, not that many of you. A lot of you do, but not that many of you. If you're a beginner, you don't own a light meter, you're gonna have to chimp. You'll have to take a test shot and see what you're getting, okay? Light meters are solid $200, plus the Pocket Wizard chips, another 70 or 80 bucks, right? It just keeps going uphill from there. And, but you don't have to, all right? We got a shot here at F11, and we can play. So your second question was,
Okay?
your
Control the
distance. Your distance you play. That's where now you're coming in with shutter speed, aperture, ISO, and flash output. There are a great many different controls you can use. You can take this off and move this further away because you get more flash output with a direct beam of light. You can zoom the flash head to 200 millimeters and get a direct beam of light into this corner and blast it back out again. You have a lot of other controls that you can do to get more light output without raising the power. Okay, and then you have to play with distance. Then you start playing with aperture, ISO, and shutter speed.
So the 50% is not the actual lumens, but the actual power. The actual light is the power.
Right, it's power setting. Right. I'm not. We're going back to the Zen moment. We're taking all the technical out of it. So if you go to half power, then you begin. Then you have to. Let's see. I want to make this as easy as possible for all involved. So we're not going to talk about like lumens, and we're just going to talk about flash power output. Okay. Okay. You ready? All right. So we have a decent shot. We're at F11. That was okay. All right. What's your name? Yes.
Naftali.
I can't hear you.
Naftali.
Naftali brought up the issue of shutter speed, aperture, flash output, okay, ISO. They're all interrelated at some point, or they're using one or another. All right, so you have to understand those relationships. It's all about relationships. Okay, so now we're going to go shoot through. I prefer to use the shoot through umbrella myself as opposed to the reflective. I think the shoot through gives a better result. It's a little softer and a little less contrasty. So I'm going to take the black backing off of my umbrella. This is a PhotoFlex 45-inch or 43-inch shoot-through convertible umbrella. It goes reflective or shoot-through. We take the cover off. And what's nice about these is no matter what brand you're using, you've got a couple different modifiers here in one shot. So now we're going to turn this around, stick the umbrella in. Oops. 43-inch, I think it is. PhotoFlex 43-inch. Oops.
Does it make any difference how close the flash head is to the umbrella?
The question is, does it make a difference how close the flash head is to the umbrella? Yes, you get more control or softer light when you move it through in and around the umbrella. I threw my camera bag there. Yeah, okay. As long as I'm on top of that, okay. What I like about the shoot-through way is this. We have our subject. We can actually aim our light now. I don't have to main light her like that. I can main light her like this.
Could you flip that so we can see the back?
Sure, hang on one second. The question is if I can, I'll move this around so you can see it. I don't have to aim my light at my subject. I can aim my light at my reflector. And what am I getting? I'm getting bounce light now all over the place, right? So those hard shadows, those hard highlights on the reflective style won't be here because I can bounce it back. And beautiful soft light all over the place. I'm going to rotate this. There it is. Oops. Now, when you buy your umbrella bracket, it's an important thing to note. Let me lower this down just a touch, and you can see. when you purchase your umbrella bracket, whichever one that you decide to purchase, let me get this out of the way. When you mount the whole thing together, you want the speed light head pointing towards the center of the umbrella, okay, whether it's reflective or shoot through. Actually, I think this can go down, yep. And you mark the front. I put in a little F on here. I stole some stickers from my kids and put a little F on there for front because I don't remember very well anything anymore. So there's a little F on there. When you at the end, you can come take a look at it. It will never be perfect. It will never make the center of the umbrella perfectly, but you know what? Close is good. And close allows you to aim the light. And when you can aim the light, you can change the look of your photograph. So I'm about maybe a little more than hand width apart, plus or minus. I don't do an exact science. I just grab and go.
You mark the front of the bracket.
Yes, the front of the bracket.
What for?
Because if I take this out and put it on the opposite side, these will diverge. They will not converge. See this angle right here? This will converge here eventually at the center.
But the hole is angled.
The hole is angled, right. Right, the hole is angled, I'm sorry, the hole is angled. So eventually, this way it will converge. If you take this out and put it in the other way, it will diverge.
They don't tell you that.
What's that?
They don't tell you that.
Oh, no one tells you that. No, you got to figure that out on your own, yeah. No, that's like in the directions that you don't never get. Yes?
I shoot with the 580EX2, so I don't know if you'd be able to, maybe somebody else. When like the stylist or my photo steps in, after like 30 seconds, it shuts off.
Yep.
I don't know if that's just something that I don't know how to turn off. Or, okay, how do I do that? What? Maybe we'll talk later. Okay.
Yeah, if you, all right, so the question is,
I'm not being able to figure it out.
all right, so the question is, or the statement rather, is that when shooting, I don't know your name, how much your name? Shawnee. When Shawnee is shooting, her flash falls asleep. So you have to go into your menu and find out how to get off the sleep mode, turn the sleep mode off. And I think it's custom function 2 for 580EX.
Okay.
I think it's custom function 2. And you turn the sleep mode off. And that's true for any speed light. Turn that sleep mode off because you're going to be working and ready to shoot and suddenly nothing's working.
Yeah.
And your client's like, oh my God, I'm paying this person?
Let me run back there and turn it off and turn it on.
Right? And for you Nikon people, who has an SB900? Okay, you SB900 users, go into the menu and turn off the thermal coupler, the thermal cutout. Shut that right off. Nikon sets the thermal cutout very conservatively, so if you're rapid firing, it will shut down on you. Who's had that happen to them? Okay, I had that happen. I was ready to return my SB900 when my photo supplier said, no, turn the thermal cutout off. All right? That's another reason for an SB900 users to use a battery pack, because it will help to keep the head from frying. Okay? All right, so we're going to shoot through umbrella. And we're going to aim our flash down, right? Right about to there. That may be a little too tight, I think. And I rarely aim it towards my subject. I'm going to aim it a touch towards the umbrella. Well, let's go down a little more. I can't see it very well. It's dark in here. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I'm going to aim my light more towards my umbrella. I mean, more towards my reflector. I'm sorry. And I'm going to get this light onto Bernadette, and I'm kind of going to squash her with it. Okay? Bounce it off of here, bring it up. Main light, secondary light, get some shadow light going, but no direct light on her. Ready on? Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see what we get. I'm going to go back down to 1/125th of a second at f5.6, ISO 200, white balance daylight. Let's see what we get. Okay, hot, totally hot. I'm really close to her. Light is bouncing off the ceiling. It's bouncing off the screen. We're all over the place on heat. It's way overexposed. So what are we going to do? Hang on. Is it Neve? I can't. Naftali. Talk to me.
Down your f-stop, lower your ISO.
Okay. I'm at a Nikon D3. My base ISO is 200, so I'm going to stay there. What do you want me to do?
F-stop.
F-stop to what? F16? Nah, too deep.
Where are you now?
You're at, what are you at, 11?
I'm at 5.6. I went back to 5.6. No, back to 5.6. I went back to the start point. Hang on, your start point, everybody's start point is 1/125th of 5.6. That's your start point. That's my start point for every photo. We're going to go to F8. Outstanding. Yes? Okay. Nice. Maybe too deep. Let's see. Ready? This is F8. See what we get. Oh, there we go. Maybe a touch too hot. Maybe add a third of a stop. Right? I'm sorry? F11. We should go back to F11. It could be a little too dark, but let's give it a shot. F11. F11 is too deep. Too deep. I would say F8, maybe F9. Very good. Oh, you're my man. Come on up here. I would say F9 and see what we get. I think we're in. We're close. I think we're in. Maybe a touch hot. Still too hot? Let's go to F10. I think that's where we go. F10. We're in between F10 and F11. All right. Yes?
You start using flash exposure compensation.
I don't. Hold on. You have a question?
Yeah, you reversed the umbrella, but I like the other one better. Why are you turning the umbrella this way? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for softer light. If we go back to the first ones, they're a little bit too contrasty for me. You have more soft light. The question is, what's your name?
Mike.
Mike likes the reflective umbrella better. I like the shoot-through umbrella better. I think there's a difference in the quality of the end result. I think that the reflective umbrella is a touch too contrasty for my liking. I like the shoot-through. I think it's a little bit softer, less contrasty. Also, the reflective umbrella throws light everywhere. It just tosses light all over the place. I have the ability now to do a little play here. I can direct my light. I can change the complete look of my photo. Let's do this. Okay, I have a different look. There's a different shadow detail under her glasses. See that? Yes?
Is it possible to put both photos beside each other, the reflective and the shoot-through, compare?
I do not know.
Even rich.
Let's see. Hang on. Hold on.
We're putting you on the spot now, aren't we?
Nope. I never do that, so I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. No, I can't take the time on that. I'm sorry. I don't. Someone else asked me that, and I was like, "What's that?" Lightroom does that. I'd be honest with you. I had Lightroom 1, I had Lightroom 2, I have Lightroom 3, and I don't use them. I like Capture One better. I'm moving into medium format, so I chose a software that would support Phase 1 when I do it next year, hopefully. When my wife sees that $30,000 bill come through the door, it could be the end of everything. Yes?
What kind of cable are you using to connect the camera to the computer?
I bought a cable from Tether Tools. I don't know, whatever they offer for.
It's connected to which port in the camera?
The one that you would use to connect. The question is, what cable am I using to tether my camera to my laptop? I bought a cable from Tether Tools that was made for Nikon. It has that small pin and then a USB. All right, 15-foot cable. I think it was $50. Good transfer rate. Okay, so that's shoot-through umbrella. And then we change the look of our portrait just by moving our light. Okay. Now, I like to aim my light not towards my subject directly. I like to aim it just off a little bit because I want a little more bounce light here. Okay, I want a really nice soft light all over the place when I'm shooting with the umbrella. Okay, piece of cake. It wasn't all that difficult. Yes?
If your flash was in TTL mode, could you use your exposure meter on your camera? Instead of keep guessing?
You could, if the question is if the flash is in TTL, if the flash is in TTL, could you use exposure compensation, right? Basically, you want to.
Exposure meter in your camera. Instead of just taking, let's start at 5.6.
Right.
So you use your exposure meter, and you take your first picture, and then hopefully you're in the right range, you might be a little more, a little less.
Well, if you use it, so the question is, would I use my exposure meter in the camera?
Yes.
Okay, if you're using TTL, yes. We're not using TTL. I'm not using the Pocket Wizard Flex. I am not using Nikon CLS. I'm using a straight up old style radio trigger.
Using the cord from your camera, the main cord from your camera and flash. You wouldn't have to use the flex.
Like a PC, the PC cord. The question is if you use the PC cord. Yes, you can. Absolutely. The PC cord's about 10 bucks and it would do well for you to get started with. Problem with that is, like I am tethered to my laptop, you are tethered to your flash. If you move beyond the 10 feet, over it goes. But you're right, you can be using, then you can absolutely use that. And use TTL mode because you're connected solid, right? But I'm not doing that today, I'm using Pocket Wizard.
I just let you control everything on the speed light from the...
Yes, that's TTL.
That's the whole idea there.
Right. All right, hold on. Go ahead. So the question was, that's the whole idea with TTL. Yes, TTL allows you to use the in-camera meter and then play with your settings that way. You can use flash exposure compensation or regular manual exposure compensation, adjust as you go. All right. There are a lot of beginners, and who's a beginner here? Okay, we have a room almost 50-50, half beginners, half advanced, intermediate, or pros. Who's a pro? Who's a pro? Raise your hand. Be proud, loud and proud. Let's go. Yeah, do this for a living. I get paid. Someone pays me to do what I love. Absolutely, raise that hand up. Okay. Yes, you can use the cord, and yes, you will get the same result, and it could be easier. You know, for me, I like not being tethered to my flash. I run a lot of workshops and presentations. What kind of camera do you shoot? You come into a workshop that I'm running. I hand you one of these, a Pocket Wizard, and you can shoot. If I hand you a PC cord, it's probably not going to work Canon to Nikon. Okay, so I'm sorry, but but you have that ability because you have the wire to run TTL. Do you have the Pocket Wizard Flex system yet? No. No. The Pocket Wizard Flex system will allow you to use TTL wirelessly. All right, it's a little pricey. It is available here.
Roughly what price?
So the question is, how much is the Pocket Wizard Flex system? You're probably going to drop about $500 on the TT1 transceiver, the TT5 receiver, and the AC3 zone controller. It's going to run you about 500 bucks. Plus twos are about 170 a piece. Okay.
You can use the in-camera control.
What's the question?
The wireless. You can use wireless with the camera. Most cameras, most modern cameras have a wireless system.
The question is, can I use, so what's your question? I can use wireless?
Yeah, you can control from the camera.
Yes, I can't do that with my camera. The question is, most modern and new cameras have a wireless system built in. And yes, who's a Nikon CLS user? Okay, who uses the Canon system, which I think is in their brand new 7D, right? Yeah, 7D. Okay, I shoot a Nikon D3. The D3 doesn't have a pop-up flash. I have no CLS. I don't have that opportunity. Okay, yes?
Also, Pocket Wizards are more reliable. The IR from the camera, you have to have a direct field of view, and it's not outside.
Right.
The sun interferes with the rays.
The question is about the reliability of the CLS system and infrared versus radio trigger. Radio triggers are more reliable and give you longer distance. I regularly put my flashes outside of windows, okay? If you have somebody with a I can change my channel. I don't interfere with anybody. The Pocket Wizard Plus 2s have 4 channels. The Pocket Wizard Flex system has 32 channels, programmable. You fix in the firmware. So I ran an event in Massachusetts where somebody else was flashing. 4 other people were flashing channel 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm standing there like, I couldn't work. So I had to go into the firmware, change the thing, and I changed the channel 22 and 32. And nobody could touch me, okay? But that's the radio trigger system versus a PC cord versus Nikon CLS or this, I don't know what Canon calls it. What does Canon call it?
Wireless.
Wireless, that's it? Simple wireless? No name? Okay.
Infrared wireless.
Infrared wireless. And the infrared won't go around corners. It won't go into other rooms, all right, with a radio trigger system. And I just use Pocket Wizards. You don't have to use or purchase them. There are plenty of other brands. Radio Popper, CyberSync, MicroSync, I don't even know anymore. PowerSync. I think B&H has its own brand. PhotoFlex has its own brand. some lighting companies have their own brands. The Profoto has its own, you know, Hensel. There were questions in the back?
The big problem with those so-called wireless things, when you're outside and you're moving and you're trying to do an event, whatever it may be, if the sun just hits that thing the wrong way, forget it, it flashes and then a trigger. That's why I went to the radio control, because you could control it under any amount of sunlight.
That's what Naftali brought up when we first. So the question is, IR systems aren't as reliable, or the statement is IR systems, infrared systems aren't as reliable as radio triggers, and that is true. Outside it's difficult. Inside is difficult if you want to put your flash in another room. Okay. Naftali brought up Nikon CLS, right? We talked about that earlier, and it's an outstanding way to flash. It really is outstanding. But the problem is your range. You lose range. The Pocket Wizard and the radio poppers have a longer range. I can go 1,600 feet from camera to flash. All right, so that's a long distance. And if a radio frequency is in a building, I can put a flash here, and a flash out there, and a flash over there, and they'll all work. Yes?
What's the distance for an SB 900 wireless?
I have no idea. I don't know.
How far you can put it away from the camera?
I don't know. I don't have CLS. I don't use it. I don't know. I'm sorry.
What I don't know. What is CLS? Some of us are.
Okay, Nikon CLS is a Nikon Creative Lighting System. That's their infrared built-in system. If you have what camera do you have?
I have a D700.
So you have it with a pop-up flash. You have commander mode in the camera. You can do all of that, but I don't know the range. I just know that it can be tricky. Okay. There's another question before I keep going? Yes.
Yes, maybe to clarify a little bit, when you use the IR system, it's not that far. You cannot go that far from the flash. And there's something else. If your flash is inside a softbox or something like that, it's not gonna shoot every single time you try to activate it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's not seeing the IR sensor on the flash.
What's your name again?
Ed.
Ed, okay. So Ed brought up the fact that infrared triggering systems, the Canon and the Nikon system, can be tricky because if you put your flash inside of a softbox, okay, the flash is literally inside the softbox, like a Westcott Apollo 28 or the new Westcott Orb. Sometimes the IR won't see, or it will flash once and then not flash 2 or 3 times after, and then flash again. So you have that reliability issue, okay? And radio triggers remove the reliability issue. There are multiple brands out there. You just Google radio triggers for photography and have fun with that, because you're going to get a lot of things coming up.
Are there downsides to the radio triggers? Because I'm hearing only positives on the radio and negatives on the infrared.
I have no problems with my systems. None. I have 3 problems with my system. You ready? Okay, so if you guys using Pocket Wizards or any triggering system, I have 3 problems with my with my older +2s, not the newer units. Problem number 1, batteries wear out. Duh. Problem number 2, I forget to turn it on. Problem number 3, especially with people who come to workshops, they put it on backwards, and it won't work on backwards. And that's the only problem that I have with my systems. Okay, let's keep going because we're running out of time. Okay, we're going to do over and under or one light beauty. Who knows what this is? Clamshell lighting, over and under beauty, outstanding. Naftali knows, you know everything. You should come up here, man. I need a break. Okay, over and under or one light beauty. I love this. I just did this yesterday with 2 speed lights, but we're going to use 1 speed light today. We're going to take our California Sunbounce and rotate it so it's underneath Bernadette, right here. Okay. Then we're going to take our speed light, and we're going to kind of merge our light stands a touch here, get things nice and close. All right. And then we are going to flash. Where are you? You disappeared. Oh, there you are. Woohoo! No losing the model. Wait a minute. Okay.
There's no personal space at
There
all.
is none. You're a little too tall for me because this room is not. Yeah, there we go.
Another 6 inches there.
You want a chair to sit here? Lean on the back of the chair so you don't sit on your Yeah, there you go. Okay, because we're at crazy heights here. Oh, very good, very nice. Let me see if I can get this up a little higher. Okay. This is almost the same thing as we shot before, right? We had our main light up here and we had a reflector down here. This is over and under or one light beauty. Now, what I really like about this style of light is if you look at the speed light, where is the main part of the speed light going? Overhead. Outstanding. And what does that do for you?
Well, first of all, it feathers her, and second of all, it lights her hair a little bit.
Exactly. So you're turning one light into three now. You got a hair light, separation light, you got a main light, and you got a third light right here. That's your reflector. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
I have to swap lenses here. Hang on one second. All right, I was using a 50 millimeter lens. Now I'm using a 70 to 200 because you have a very tight space to shoot through here. This is very nice headshot lighting. Okay. And we're going to go back to f5.6. 1/125th of a second is your shutter speed. 5.6 is your aperture. All right, we'll start with, and then ISO 200, and then we'll go. Ready, hon? See what we got. Okay, way too hot. It's way too hot in here. One of the things we're getting is, well, now tell you, I'm gonna work on you, man. Okay, what's wrong with that? Why is that photo like that?
It's overexposed because your aperture is too large.
Okay, hold on. Okay, now we're thinking about light, right? And we're looking for light. Where's the light bouncing? No, not that way. Where's the light bouncing from? What's affecting my exposure? Although you are right, aperture is too wide, and I have to stop it down. Where's light bouncing off of? Ceiling? Screen. Okay? So I'm getting a lot of external light. I'm getting a lot of my single main light bounced off the ceiling and here. So I'm really getting a lot of light bounced around her, which is creating my exposure problem where I have to stop down to f8, f11, which is fine. But you pay attention to the light. Now, if I were shooting her professionally, I would not be this close to the wall. I would be over here. You know, I don't mind the top light as much, but the side light's killing me. All right, so we shall go down to F. We'll go right. That's pretty hot. We'll go right down to F11. Much better. Okay? Much, much better. What I like about that light is look at the catch light in her eyes. You see the over and you see the under. Okay? It's a very nice, very flattering kind of light. Very soft, very all over the place. And it looks like she has a hair light because she has some separation. Right? I've got separation light on her without a direct hair light. And that beautiful reflective light coming up from the bottom. Ready, hon? One or two more? Perfect. One more. We got some glare in the glasses, yep. Glasses wearers are tough subjects. Pull those things off so I don't have to fool with that. Thank you.
And what if you can't pull them off? That's the easy way.
Okay, all right, so the question is, damn! Okay. No, this is, I'm sorry, what's the question?
Does the model come with the flash?
No, unfortunately. Well, you could ask her. So the question is, what do you do with glasses? Okay, glasses are very difficult. There's a couple things you can do with glasses. I don't have mine on. You can take them and put them up over your ears just a touch. Get them up into the hair, get them up off the ear, and you change the angle of the glare on the reflection. Some glasses, you just can't do that. I shot a guy, he had these crazy, wacky, oh my God, was he a nightmare or what?
The things like bended around his entire face. There was no frame.
Yeah.
It was just
It was just a nightmare. And they're currently at my retoucher being retouched because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I couldn't do it. But he had these crazy glass frames. They were like frameless glasses, and they just wrapped around his head like a ski racer. And it didn't matter where you put the light. It didn't matter. It just it was awful. Okay? You can do a couple of things. This is a difficult light for people who wear glasses. So I would ask you to take your glasses off. And we'll take one more shot.
What I usually do.
All right, if you can do a couple of things. Take your glasses and you get them up over the ear and drop them down, point them down this way, just a touch. So you're going to raise them, just go like that, just a touch. You can side light or split light your person. Put a light onto this side and a light onto this side or a reflector on this side. Then that light washes across the glasses this way, never hitting them directly in the front. So you've got a main light coming across your subject and your reflective light going backwards, or a second light over here. Main light half power, reflector or secondary light quarter power. And you split the glasses. You light this way. Okay, and you've taken that glass, that reflective curvature of the glass, refraction or whatever, out of the equation. And that works wonderfully, because I did an actor headshot like that, and it came out beautiful. Just beautiful, because she wore these, again, crazy glasses.
If she's not looking directly at the camera, she's a little bit off, you won't get that weird refraction on
Yep.
the side if you do it like that?
You probably might still.
Yeah.
Glasses are tough. With wraparound ski racer glasses, there was no.
Glasses, normal
But
glasses.
you might. You have to test shoot, and you have to pay attention to it. If not, if you get to a point where your glasses are still reflecting, and it's just Photoshop for you. Best I can tell you, because that's what I do. Yes, what's the question?
What I usually do is I go to the dollar store and buy a group of frames.
Yeah.
Take the glasses out, and just when the model comes in or whoever comes in, they want
Yeah.
glasses, you can put those frames on them.
What's your name?
Hampton.
Hampton?
Yes.
Hampton has an awesome idea. I have not done it, but I am going to. What Hampton does is this. Our whole discussion is based on what do you do with glasses and people who wear glasses, besides kick them out of the studio because you don't want to deal with it. He goes to the dollar store and buys a half a dozen sets of frames that match current styles. And then you get, with no glass in them. Or if there is glass in them, he pops them out. He pops them out. And then if you come to me with glasses that I have similar to you, I give you glasses with no glass in them. You can't see me because you wear glasses, but that doesn't matter. When she takes her glasses off, she can't see me. But that doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter if she can see me, I need to be able to see her. And I love this kind of light. This is a beautiful, soft, reflective light that we're bouncing all over the place to get a really nice, soft look on our subject. Okay? All right, we're going to go into our next one, and that's bounce flash. And bounce flash is a lot of fun. And if you're just, yes, I'm sorry, hon. Yeah, I'm going to whack you. Hang on. If you're just beginning, if you're just getting started and you don't know what to do, whoopsie daisy, I don't want to break the place. You don't know what to buy. Get rid of all this nonsense. All right? This is all great stuff, but you know what? If you're just starting out and you say, I want to try this, but I don't want to spend a lot of money, or if you're looking for a new technique, looking for something else to add to your repertoire. Because that's the thing. You're looking for light, you're placing your light in different places, you want to add to your repertoire, because when your client comes in, you're going to have a client come in who wants something dramatic, or something really low key, or really high key, or something simple. Or what's going to happen to you, which is what happened to me last week, is I had my client call me last Tuesday at noontime and say, we want you to come in Thursday and cover a corporate event. I say, great. They call me an hour later and they say, nah, we're not going to have you come in. We don't want you to do it. I say, okay, great. I have a class to teach anyway, so I was going to have to cancel it. I get a call on Thursday at 12 o'clock. We need you for 5. Be in Westport at 5 o'clock, ready to shoot. Okay. So now I used bounce flash that night. I lit a 65-person group shot with 2 SB800s that I bounced off the back walls. All right, I had the event space raise all the lights up. I took 2 SB800s, I put them right tight to the wall behind me, and lit the foreground by bouncing light. I turned the entire room into a softbox. Okay, and that's what we're going to do right now. And this is a great and fun technique. It's really simple. Okay, we're going to take our speed light. And we're going to raise it up. And we're going to bounce some light around this room. So you guys are going to get flashed a little bit. Okay, ready, hon?
Yep.
Okay. Now, this is a crapshoot. This is why you don't go to the casino and play craps, because you're going to lose. Because the casino craps always favors the house, right? Okay, come forward to me a little bit. Take your glasses off. I'm not going to deal with that. See how easy that was? Okay, so I'm going to go 1/125th of a second, back to 5.6, and we'll see what we get. Oops, hang on, not that one. Okay, that one. Not that one. Okay, we're getting a different look. Now look at that. Now we're entering that Rembrandt kind of light. Okay? A lot of light on one side, a little bit of that shadow on the other. All right? Who shoots events here? Who bounces their flash? Okay. All you do is take your flash, put it on a light stand, and bounce it around the room. Yes, question?
Turn the head so that shooting straight up into the ceiling instead of at an angle. No. Not turn the head. Turn the head so that it's like that.
Which way? So he wants me to, hang on, then what's your name?
John,
John wants me to turn the head which way, but I can't figure it out. Which way?
turn it 90 degrees from where you have it now. No.
Turn, twist.
Backwards. Shoot backwards?
No. Forward now.
Now 180.
Forward? Why would I go forward? Because there's no light going to be on her.
To the ceiling though.
Up to the ceiling.
I just was up at the ceiling.
No, I'm getting a little light, you turn it the other way.
Like that?
But slightly angled now.
Why?
Try it.
All right, we're going to go slightly angled forward. Okay. We're now, hold on. All right, excellent point. So John brought up the point we're going to modify our light. We're going to move it somewhere else. So here's what we'll do. We'll take 4 shots. One that way, one that way, one that way, and one back over here. How's that? All right? What do we get? Okay, we got 4 different looks, right? A lot of front light on her. Okay, and that was facing back, right? Back towards the wall. It gave me a lot of strong front light. Okay. That's facing to the left. So now hold on. Now we shot this to the left, and we filled this room this way with light, and look what we got as a result. Okay, that's not all that bad.
You bounced it against that.
Against that? Well, that's black, so that's fairly subtractive, but it did push some light back. But you know what? Hang on. Okay, you're the naysayer here. What's your name?
Sorry.
Okay. So what is it?
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, Soren. So you know, here's the deal. Try it. What's that? Who said solution? Who said something about solution?
Solution to try it, just the name.
Exactly. Just what's your name?
Keith.
I can't hear you.
Kent.
Kent?
Yes.
All right, Kent. Kent is right. Swap your head around and try it. Who bounces their flash at events? This is all you're doing around the room. This shot, we sent the light this way, and it did hit the barn door there on that light. But you know what? It did turn the room into your softbox. Yes, question?
Yeah, is there a limit on how high the ceiling can be, and also the color of the ceiling? Should it be white, or what if you're stuck? This is gray. I guess it's okay. What if you have different colored ceiling?
Then you're going to be, so the question is, what if you have different colored walls or ceilings? All right, this is where you get into color correction gels. You'll have to use a color corrective gel if you're shooting in an event space with a warm wall. All right?
Now, that event that you were at, was it very high ceiling and you still bounced?
Nope, maybe 9-foot ceiling, 8-foot ceiling.
Oh, but what if you're in like a 20-foot ceiling? Can you do it still?
You can do it. Then you have to push your ISO up. You have to start pushing your ISO to bring in some of that, sensitivity on your sensor. This, again, for a beginner, this is a great way to start. For someone who's advanced, it's a great way to add something to your repertoire, okay? It's really a cool technique. It's really simple. I mean, right, you own a light stand, you own some kind of triggering system, you already own a flash. Who here has a flash? All right, you're in the right place, right?
And you could basically just do that right off the camera, too, because you're really not...
Absolutely. This enables you to put this up closer to a ceiling. So what's your name? What's that gentleman? What's your name?
Mike.
I can't hear you.
Mike.
Mike brought up, what if you have a 20-foot ceiling? If you have a 20-foot ceiling, push your light stands up all the way to 8 feet and get them closer, because you're not 8 feet, right? Not yet. Also, okay, on the back of your flash is a zoom. One of the great things about these small flashes is your ability to manipulate them. They have so many different controls. One of the awful things about these flashes is that people rarely use them. Okay? You have a zoom here. Zoom sets, if you're in a room, Mike's in a room with a 20-foot high ceiling, he wants to bounce some flash, right? He's going to take his 8-foot light stand, push it all the way up. Before he pushes it all the way up, he's going to zoom his head out to 200 millimeters and get a direct beam of light on that wall, and it's going to hammer that wall and then reflect back all over the place. Okay? Use the zoom. There's another piece of equipment, another tool in this piece of equipment that people rarely use, and it's there for you, right?
By zooming it like that, are you making a harsher light?
You're making a harder light hit the wall and then bounce back faster. Okay? So again, you fill the room. You turn the room into your light source. It's the same thing with on-camera bounce flash. Who has been to this event when Neil Van Niekerk is here? Anybody? He's awesome. I love Neil. Neil is a fantastic person. His black foamy thing, it's awesome. Okay? If you guys get the opportunity, come to the event space when Neil Van Niekerk is here. It's amazing. I use his system, but I do it differently. I take a piece of white foam paper, right, and I put black gaffer tape on one side, so I have white and black. And I love it. All my on-camera flash is done with that system, and it is awesome. This is the same deal. Same deal. Okay. We move. Oh, we're moving right. We have 2 more looks to do. Let me do the quick 2 more looks, and then we'll finish up with questions and answers, okay? So let me run through these pretty quickly. The first one is 1 speed light into 2. The very first photograph I showed you in the slideshow was 1 speed light into 2. This is an incredibly tight area to do this in, but we're going to give it a whirl. What do you say? Okay. Sure. I'm glad you're so receptive. All right. So this is a really cool setup, and I really enjoy doing this. And like I said, I apologize. Excuse me, hon. This is a very tight room. We'll go right to here, and we'll go up. We'll go right behind your head, and right about there. Okay. So what we're going to do is we have our flash set to half power. It's going to be fairly bright, so I'm going to set an aperture, probably start with at f11. We're going to take our light and send it right back from behind our head, shoulders, send that light forward right to our reflector. And hopefully, if this works properly, which it usually does, but last time I was here it didn't work too well. But we're going to try it. This is a trial and error deal. You have to try it, find out how to use it, and then go from there. That's the best that I can tell you. It is one of those lighting situations that you have to play with. Okay? We're going to take our reflector, raise it up, pardon me. All right, we'll aim our light back to the reflector, and we'll see what we get. All right, who's in? Wow. Okay, we're going to start at 1/125th of a second at f11 because we have a lot of light blasting across the back of our head. So let's see what we get. Ooh, oh, that's awesome. I love that result. I love that reaction. Okay, is it great? Yeah. Some people are not convinced of that. Who here is in the camera club? Okay, there's the door. Okay, if you're looking for something creative, that's pretty cool, isn't it? You can't tell me that's not cool. And if you can tell me that's not cool, and you can convince me that that's not cool, the door's over there. All right, that's cool and that's fun. We have a hair light, we have a main light, we have all that lens flare going on right there, or ghosting or whatever, right? That's pretty awesome. That's really pretty cool. Let's try and do this. Let's try and take a lot of that out of here. Sorry, hon. And we'll shoot that way. Oh, I'm sorry. And we'll try and get some of that flare out of here. I'll send the light this way. I kind of bounce it off the wall a little bit. We'll hit the reflector, and we'll see what we get. All right, not bad. We're getting there. We're getting there, okay? I will apologize. The room is incredibly small here, so the light's very close. But I think a few more adjustments, and we can have a decent saleable shot. I think
with the lens hood?
The lens hood's not going to do anything because that light's coming right into me. It's literally coming right into me. But let's do this. Let's try that. All right. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to lower the light, give us more of a backlight on her hair, and we'll aim it kind of towards the reflector, and you'll see what we get. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. At F11, I'm a little deep. It's a little dark for me. I may open that up to maybe, talk to me.
Some more fill, move it in or open up a bit.
Open up the aperture I want to do. I can't go any far forward, so I'm going to open up to, I'm at F11, we'll go to maybe 8. I lowered the flash. So that's a traditional backlit hair light. It's an 80s style, right? Donna Summer. Come on, people, right? All right, so we'll go to F8. Ready? All right, who loves disco? I mean, come on. Oh, here we go. All right, we're getting there. You put the glasses on, you're killing me.
Can't see.
We went over this. You don't have to see. It's okay. All right, we're getting there, all right? This is a more controlled lighting portrait. None of that lens flare ghosting and none of that nonsense happening. But, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Yes, it was. All right. Now we're going to do one light high key because we're running down on time, and then we'll do a Q&A and have some more, we'll go over everything at the end.
Don't you think the hair light is too strong?
Excuse me? Excuse me? Was there someone say something? Excuse me? What's your name? Harvey? Harvey's question is, do I think the hair light is too strong? No, I don't. No, I don't.
If the room was bigger, what advantage would it give you?
If the room, what's your name?
Don.
Don asked, if the room were bigger, what advantage would I be given? If the room were bigger, I can move my light a little further away and get it out of the picture completely and get nice cross light and not have to worry about the lens flare and the ghosting. All right. This is an extremely tight area. There's still light bouncing from the ceiling, light bouncing off the back. All right, there's a lot of light bouncing around, but we didn't do too bad in a couple of shots. All right. Probably it would have softened the light and spread it more to the sides. Okay. Again, what's your name?
Kenny.
Kenny. So Kenny asked, would the OmniBounce spread the light? And yes, the OmniBounce would spread the light more. Again, I don't have a lot of time, so but use the tools that you're given. All right. Now. So you have a light stand. You don't have to buy that light stand. You can spend $30 on a light stand. You can spend $15, $20 on an umbrella bracket, and look what you can do. And you don't need to use one of these. I'm going to give you the best and easiest solution to this. Go to your local arts and crafts store, buy a piece of 20-inch by 30-inch white foam core board, or go to Staples and buy one of those trifolds, right? And on the back side, one side's white. Awesome. On the back side, go to your drawer in your kitchen and get tin foil out. Cover it with tin foil, put some nice clear tape on it. Now you have a white and silver reflector for about $3. Okay? They are kind of a pain to carry around. But, you want to call me, you want me to assist you? That's cool. My rate's not too bad. But they are tough to carry around. But you know what? $3 is a lot better than, ouch. Or an argument from your spouse.
How would you clamp it onto? How would you make it look to the ground?
You choose a hand clamp. Oh, so Hampton asked, how would you clamp it to your stand? You can use a hand clamp. Just get a regular hand clamp. Go to Home Depot. They're 99 cents, right? I have a half a dozen I keep with me all the time in my pickup truck, and you clamp it right on. Then you can get creative. You can buy those crazy clamps that have the articulated arm, and you can kind of move it around and give you that. On edge, right? Exactly. You can move it around. Home Depot is your friend. Lowe's is your friend when it comes to this low price stuff. You buy a hand clamp for 99 cents, right? And you can do a lot with that. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to do one light high key. I love this technique. Okay, come right up against here, hon. Yep. Thank you. Now, If you all remember the photo of the gal with the Candyland theme, I mean, this is how I shot it. Once again, this is a very tight room. So we're going to do the best that we can in this area. So once you take your flash off of your camera, you change the dynamic of the light. It's nowhere, it doesn't seem to be as hard, it doesn't seem to be as awful. It just seems to be so much nicer. So we're going to go bare head, no omni-bounce, right? We're staying at half power. We've shot the entire day at half power. We've adjusted aperture to our need, or we can also adjust shutter speed if we needed to, or ISO up or down, or flash power. I had a student in my Rock the Shot workshop who dropped her power down to 1/32 because she wanted to maintain a strong depth of field. So she shot at like f2.2 or something, or f2.8 with 1/32 power, very low power, just a touch of light. And did you see those photos of the baby? They were amazing, weren't they? Amazing. Bobby was in my Rock the Shot class. This young gal shot a baby. It was in a bumblebee outfit. It's the cutest thing on the planet. And she used a small flash with a shoot-through umbrella, 1/32 power. I don't know what her shutter speed was, but her aperture, her working aperture was like 2.8. Really something wide open. And all the light did was add some fill light to the room. And the shots were outstanding, really amazing. Okay, so for this technique, we're going to raise our flash up. And we're going to aim it down just a touch. Just a touch. And we're going to go high. Right about there. Now, the key to this system is staying back here where the light is. You want to shoot back here, because I'll show you as we go. If you start coming up and you want to take a nice headshot, who's in the way of the light?
You are.
The great thing is she has her glasses off, so she can't see me. Oh, thank you. Okay, we're going to go back to 5.6. So we've started every session we've worked on here, 1/125th to the second at 5.6, ISO 200, white balance, daylight. I'm getting really good results, all right? Once again, if you're not taking a custom white balance or you don't understand that yet, start with a daylight white balance and you get pretty good results right out of the gate. Ready, hon? Okay, way overexposed, super high key. Look at that, super high key. We'll stop it right down, we'll go back to 11. Okay, hon? Hey, no stealing the show now, come on. Actually, Bernadette is an amazing stylist. She works a lot for me, and she's working for me on Thursday again, and she is just amazing. Really amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, there we go, much better. Okay, one light high key. All right, if you're on a white backdrop, it would be whiter than what that is. Look at the drop shadow. Look at the drop shadow, okay? Now, what I want you all have an assignment. Okay, you ready? You don't have to email me that you did it, thank God. But you all have an assignment. And look at this photograph, and look at the short drop shadow, and look how it looks. Go into any fashion magazine, Cosmo, go into Shape, go into Vanity Fair, any of those magazines, and look for a shot under this kind of condition. Look for a shot with a very hard and short drop shadow, very direct light, and you're going to find it. It doesn't have to be against a white seamless paper. It can be against anything. But look for that shot. This is a very popular fashion kind of look. Very hard, fast light, very short drop shadow, done very simply with one speed light. And if I walk close, you don't want to be that close. See me in there? There I am, all right? But, I'm sorry?
Top part is good.
Top part's perfect. It's perfect, okay? But look at the light. You've taken, just by taking the flash off the camera, we've changed the dynamic of the light because the light's not directly on the axis of the lens.
Without pulling her a little bit off the wall.
Sure, hang on. There we go. Nice, simple, quick and easy. Yes?
Depending on how far away the wall is, you can just get the same exact effect by putting the flash on the camera.
Yes, you can, but you don't get the same drop shadow because look at the drop shadow at her head.
Yeah.
Because the light's going down this way. So your drop shadow is falling right directly behind her. But you're right. Now watch this. Stay right there, hon. We change the look again.
That you can get.
All right, that you can't get on camera flash. See it dropping to her left? See, or her right rather. I'm sorry, your left. All right. That's your homework assignment. Go look in a fashion magazine and try and find a shot like this because you can do it with just a speed light. All right. And that's a great look. I love that kind of light. Even though it's hard and fast and flat, it's not as flat as if your flash was right here, or it would just be like washout flat. It's a really nice, simple, easy look. I'm going to put this, I like it better right behind me, actually.
What about just a small reflector to take out under the chin?
I don't know if that would work. I don't know if that would, and who asked that question?
I did.
Okay, what's your name?
Dave.
Dave?
Dave.
All right, Dave asked the question, what if you put a small reflector under her to bring up some of the light from her chin? I probably wouldn't do that. I would probably add a second light because it'd be easier to put a light back here and put fill light in, okay, than put a reflector up front where it may get into the photo. So if you had a, pardon me, if you had a small kicker light under here, you can get more of that taken out. You know, main light half power, kicker light quarter power maybe, just give a little fill.
Would you lose your drop shadow with that though?
You probably would lose the drop shadow, yeah. I like the drop shadow. I really like that look. But look, now it's just still direct flash. And look at the difference in, if you go home to a photo on your computer and pull out a direct flash shot, and you took a shot like this, you wouldn't see a noticeable difference in the quality of the image, okay? And it's really a simple technique. It's just one of those you put in your back pocket and go make money.
If you want to get rid of the shadow on the background, what would you do? Would you have to bring the model forward from the background?
We can bring it from up. One more. Now this is gonna, now, okay, what's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry?
Yeah.
Jerry asked, the question is, if you bring your model forward, will that get rid of the shadow on the background? Yes, it will. It's gonna kill our exposure. We're gonna go up another stop here because she moved forward to me. All right, so I'm at F11. I'm probably gonna go to F16 to start. And we'll see what we get. Okay, drop shadow's still there. It's still there. You'd have to pull her off pretty far to not get it because it's so tight in here.
Or you would get the second light on the background to bring the high key up?
Yes, so what was your name again?
Jerry.
Jerry asked about adding a second light for high key. If you're doing a traditional high key shot, yes, you would light the white background separately. 2 speed lights or a strobe light. White needs to be lit separately in order for it to stay white. Otherwise, it will just go gray. All right. But the one light high key is a very simple and unique kind of look. Something you can offer. I shot a gal from IPM Models here in the city. She's a full figure model, and she had never submitted that as a portfolio, and her agent was loving it. She loved it, and I booked more work from it. So I'm giving you all this to go out and make some money.
Is the position of the light, you're just doing it in the general direction, or are you actually aiming it somewhere in particular?
This kind of moved a little bit. Just in the general direction. You're going to aim it at the person, aim it down a little bit, and you're done. Yes?
But with the high off-camera flash, I can't get the wonderful vampire red eyes.
No. What's your name?
Bill.
Bill asks if he can get the red eye effect. And my suggestion is if you want to get red eye with off-camera flash, you should go into Photoshop and put it back in. Because thankfully, you're not going to get red eye. You're not going to get the red eye. If you shoot a ring light, anybody here have a ring light like an Orbis ring flash or a ray flash? Okay, you'll get the red eye. Who's got an Orbis? Who's got a ray flash? Okay. Orbis, I like better. Ray flash, I can't stand having that thing attached. But the Orbis is a nightmare because you got to hold it. But you can at least hold it off camera. The ring light's a very unique and specific look. Ring light's a lot of fun. We're not doing ring light here today. Anyways, good. I'm sorry.
Are you focusing on you focus the eyes, I assume?
Yep.
And are you using back button or a single point?
Okay, so the question is, how do I focus? So I'm going to add to that. Question is, how do you focus and where do you focus? All right. When you're shooting a portrait, where do you focus? Eyes. Which eye?
One closest to you.
I'm closest to you. Outstanding. All right. You guys all get an A. Okay. Second is, how do I focus? All right. Somebody yesterday had that AF button focus arrangement. Man, I cannot figure that. I don't have the manual dexterity or the hand-eye coordination for that. The back of my camera has that rocker switch, and Canon has their wheel. I roll the rocker switch around, choose the eye that I want, and go. And I just use the regular shutter release. Yes?
So what's your take on focus and recompose?
Absolutely.
That's it. You find that
Yeah.
back focusing is the problem.
I can't do it. It's just, I just can't do it. What do you mean by back focus, Natalie?
Meaning when, let's say you keep center focus point, so that's the best focus point your camera has, the most accurate.
Right.
And this way you don't have to spend time moving it, so you just tilt the camera out, focus,
Right.
you're supposed to take the shot.
Okay, so Natalie, again, you're right. So Natalie says you center focus and you go to the eye and you drop down. I'm going to say yes and I'm going to say no. I'm going to say yes, you're right. And I'm going to say it's up to you. The problem that I have with that is that I go like this. See what I mean? So if I focus on your eye and I go like, if I focus on your eye, I have a tendency not to go down in the same plane. I have a tendency to go like this. So if I focus on your eye here and I go like this, what happens? I'm closer. I don't have that capability. I'm lost in that. So I'm always rolling the rocker switch, and I prefer that myself. On the Canon, when I shot Canon, I would scroll the wheel. Right, you hit that button on the back and you scroll the wheel. I get great results out of my lenses. I learn your lenses. I know all my lens faults and strengths. My 50 millimeter, I have a 50 millimeter 1.8, which is Nikon's cheapest 50, and I think it's their best 50. You stop that thing down to f2, that 1/3 stop forward, the D series. You go with that 1/3 stop to f2, the thing is ripping awesome all over the place. It is awesome, sharp. My 70-200 is the older model. I know it vignettes. I know 2.8 is a bit soft in the corners. I know center is perfect. If I stop it down to 4 or 5/6, it's sharp all over. Learn your equipment. Spend some time learning your equipment. Yes?
I would suggest that anyone using something other than like the 70-200 or 50, like if they're using one of the slower lenses like 3.5, 5.6, that they should maybe start at f8, because that would be a way sharper aperture than at 5.6 on those cheaper lenses.
On the cheaper lenses, yeah. So Natalie says you should try and start at f8 because you get sharper across the board with the consumer level lens as opposed to a professional level lens, a 2.8 lens or 1.4. Okay, who has questions?
When you focus, do you use the zoom feature of the camera to bring into focus with the zoom?
Yeah.
The focusing zoom, not the lens zoom.
No. Well, I choose my focal length and then I let the camera choose for me. I don't manually focus.
Like Canon has a feature you can bring in, when you focus, you can bring in you can zoom in, like when you look at a picture, you view a picture,
Yeah.
it zooms in, the same type of thing, but it lets you focus better and then you go back and when you should.
As a separate button?
No, that's when you're in live view.
Oh, live view? I don't use live view. Only if I don't use live view because. So the question is about, I don't understand, because I don't shoot Canon. I don't use live view, I use my laptop. If I'm shooting tethered like that, I'll use my laptop on my duping stand or something. I just priced a job for shooting toothbrushes, and it was awesome. I put my camera on my duping stand. I controlled my camera through my software. I focused on my toothbrush, and then I took my initial shot. I have my ProPhoto strobe blowing light all over the place. I shot at f40, aperture of f40, because I was so close. 60 millimeter micro Nikkor, 3 extension tubes, down to literally like that close to the toothbrush. Problem is, because your extension tubes suck up so much light because there's so much distance now between the back of the lens and the camera. I had to blast it with light and keep detail. And
The
now,
shadow of your lens too.
I'm sorry?
The shadow of your lens also.
Yes, yes. So I just pumped light through, but then I controlled everything through here. And I don't know about Lightroom. My Lightroom probably has this feature, but I have a feature in the lower left corner that says capture right here. I think Lightroom has it. You just hit the enter button and it takes a photo for you. Never touch your camera again. It's awesome. It's awesome. You know what? If they decide to pay me the licensing fee I asked for, it does not take the fun out of it.
You passed around your cards before, but they never made them up here.
Oh, is there a card still? Is there a card still floating around? Okay, thank you. Watch your step on. Yes, question in the back. What's your name?
Winston.
Winston, what can I do for you?
I'm curious, what's your take on these flash units that have two heads, two light heads?
I've never seen them.
Great job.
Thank you. What brand is it? Well, the question is, what's my take on flash units with two heads? I've never seen a small flash with two heads. Mets? I don't know. I've never used it. I'm sorry. I have 4 flashes. They're all Nikons.
Like from macro.
I don't shoot Nissan or Vivitar or Sunpack or the off brands because I always have that fear in the back of my head that if a flash goes down, I want to be able to just plug everything back in and keep going on Nikon TTL. If you can.
R200, I think so.
The teeny tiny one, right? For the macro work? Yeah. Yeah. I don't have that though. If they're going to pay me, believe me. It's either that or come down here and buy a microscope and mount my camera to the microscope. I thought about that. Yes, it's Mike, right? Okay, go ahead.
So what I like about this system is, though, it sounds like you're not hung up on ratios.
No.
4 to 1, 3 to 1, 2 to 1. You can go crazy with the meter, you know?
I know.
It sounds like you can just see if you like it, and if you don't, move it around.
So Mike says he loves the fact, Mike's question or statement is that he loves the fact that we're not talking about ratios. All right, if you're traditionally trained in photography and you've shot on film, you know that a lighting ratio is incredibly important because your main light is X, your hair light is Y, and your backlight is Z, you know, whatever. You need to know your 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 4 to 1 ratios, right? In this kind of photography, you really don't. You've got an advantage. You can shoot into a laptop or you can shoot into the back of your camera and you look and you say, I don't like it, and you can change. If you have the Pocket Wizard Flex system, you have a zone controller on top, you can change the outputs right there. So if you set up a main light, hair light, and backlight, zone A, zone B, and zone C, I set zone A, half power, manual half power. I can set my hair light, zone B, right here to a 1/4 power, and I can set my backlight to an 1/8 power, and those are my ratios in my head, and I take a shot. Then I can adjust up or down if whatever I want. Yes, what's your name?
AQ. Nikon makes another remote capture software, things like UMax Pro, something like that. What made you choose Capture One over that?
So what's your name again? AQ's asked what made me choose this software, Capture One software over another software. Nikon's Capture NX, I think you're talking about, right? My ultimate goal is to go into medium format, and this software is made by Phase One, which is the maker of the camera I'm seriously looking at. Phase One cameras have leaf shutter lenses, so your maximum synchronization speed is 1/1600 because the actual shutter is in the lens. So it has a very unique design. So I chose to go with this software in preparation for the future. I liked Lightroom. I did not love Lightroom. I love this software, and I hate my computer. Yes, what's your name?
Ina.
Ina, what can I do for you?
Robert, if you use 2 speed lights and Pocket Wizard, do they have to be the same brand? Or it's
Nope. So Ina's question is if you use 2 speed lights, do they have to be the same brand if you're using Pocket Wizards? No. If you're using the Flex, let me rephrase that. So Ina asks if you are using a different brand flash as your secondary flash. What was the question? You have to use no. Do you have to? Yeah, 2 different brands of flashes. The Pocket Wizard takes that out of the equation. It does not matter what brand you're using. If you're using the Pocket Wizard Flex, the new system, They are beginning to work now with the off brands. And Nissan works with them. I don't know about any other brands. And a little note for you guys, little insider scoop here I found out about 2 weeks ago, is that the new Pocket Wizard Flex system coming down the pike will be cross-platform compatible. So if you're shooting Nikon and you're shooting Canon, you can now talk to one another. That's in the works. It's in the future. It is not right now, but it is coming. Okay?
Robert, another question. Can you tell us about this workshop tonight?
Yes, the workshop tonight. It was on the website. If you're interested. Bernadette is our model. We will be working in Times Square. And hang on one second. I thought that I put a shot in the thing, but I guess not. So hold on one second. I'll show you of the. This is what you'll be looking at. Let's see. Okay, that's what you'll be looking at. That's what we're going to be doing. What we do is this. Let's go over the whole thing. The workshop is $60 per person. There is room for more people. Bring your camera. I have Pocket Wizards to share. She is our model. We are using one speed light with the plastic Omnibounce on it and a gel. We're going to color correct the lighting for Times Square with a gel. This shot right here is out of the camera. Out of the camera. No white balance adjustment. All right? Yes, Natal?
Full cut or half cut CTO?
This is a half CTS.
CTS.
Yeah, didn't use CTS. CTS, so Naftali asked what filter, what gel I used. Normally you guys are working with quarter CTO, half CTO, and a full CTO, which means continuous temperature orange. This shot was taken with a CTS, which means continuous temperature straw. It's not as orange as the CTOs. What happens is the light in Times Square is ridiculous. It's all over the place. I can't even tell you what the white balance is. So what I do is I'll set you all, whoever comes, to auto white balance. And then we adjust here. We put a CTS gel on, and it's really pretty close. That's out of the camera close enough for me. Okay? So CTS, it's not as orangey warm as the CTO.
Yeah, the full cut is
Way too warm.
Way too warm.
Well, yeah, way too hot, warm, way too orangey. Way too orangey. I think that they're off by at least 500 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I bought the Roscoe thing, and then I bought the clear dome.
Yeah.
Doesn't come fit, shouldn't come fit, and I cut them down to size and put them in.
Yeah. That's excellent. Yes?
Why wouldn't you just change your white balance by, I mean, my camera, I can do whatever degrees I want on there and set that up. Why would you do the gel instead of?
Because, all right, so what's your name again?
Larry.
Larry. Okay, Larry's question is this. Why do we gel the flash? Why do we change the temperature of the flash instead of changing the white balance later on in post-processing? Go ahead, man. You're up. You're up.
Because the light that's coming from your flash, that's coming out at a very high temperature, 5,500 Kelvin, 5,600, and the light that's in the background right there, that's about 2,800. So if you were to just change the white balance in your camera to 5,500, the background lighting would turn completely orange.
I'm going to be put out of a job pretty soon. Do you understand what he's saying?
Well,
no. Here's what he
said that the light is all over the place there. So
right.
Any particular light source that's there is going to have a different color temperature, including this too.
Exactly.
You bring this closer to what's there, but there is all different too.
Well, there is an average. There is an average. So what you're doing, you walk into Times Square, you walk into that lighting scenario, you're going to find tungsten light at 3,200 degrees. You're going to find HMI. You're going to find neon, which I don't even know what it is. You're going to find something else and something else and something. Fluorescent green, fluorescent daylight, fluorescent cool white, fluorescent blah, blah, blah. So hold on.
The biggest difference, though, because it's going to be closer and you really... This
well, we're bringing the temperature of the flash head. The temperature you're looking at, the white balance color temperature coming out of your flash head is approximately 5,500 degrees Kelvin. And the white balance in Times Square is approximately 3,000 degrees Kelvin. We need to make this match that. So by adding the gel, we color the light to make it 3,000 degrees Kelvin.
Yeah.
That way, otherwise, if you took a shot with just this, there would be an extreme color difference between front to back.
So the background light here is all kind of close to 3,000.
It's,
Kind of close. Because
no.
No.
See, you're looking for this thing. Go back to the Zen moment.
I need the explanation.
You're looking for the right answer. No, there's no explanation because.
Just do
You
it.
got flashing lights all the time. in
Exactly. Times Square is insane.
Every
So
millisecond
why aren't
is
you
gonna
getting
change.
some weird color casts here?
Because the
all that
main
changing
light is on her, and this is the main light.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So there, everything has a blue tint to it. It has a blue color tone to it.
So it
Okay.
just doesn't affect it as much.
Well, we're worried about her, and then we worry about her, then we worry about bringing on the background light in. But we need to bring this light, temperature of this light, from 55 to about 3,000 in that neighborhood.
How long is the class?
2 hours, 8 to 10. 8 to 10. If anybody's interested, it's 8 to 10 o'clock. We're meeting at the Armed Forces Recruiting Center, 7th Avenue and 42nd, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7th Avenue and 42nd. We'll be right there. We're making 42nd and 43rd. So if you're interested, it's $60. It's a show special. You're more than welcome to come. There's plenty of room. Bring your camera. I supply the flash and the pocket wizards, and we shoot our lovely model Bernadette, who came out for an evening. Come take a bow.
For more information, please visit us online, give us a call, or stop by our New York City Superstore. You can also connect with us on the web.